Hey guys, this is Tom from Tom and Harry SMMA. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about why you are scared of cold calling. Okay, cold calling within SMMA is absolutely vital. People don't want to do it. Now, I know why people don't want to do it, but I don't know if you guys know why people don't want to do it. In my time, or in my journey of life, as it were, I've made well over anywhere between 5 and 10,000 cold calls. Can you imagine how brutal that has been for me? Now, that's not all been within SMMA, of course. That's been in many different jobs, but they're all sales jobs. The reason why that works and people are always urged to cold call is because guess what? It works. It's the best route to actually get new clients. It's not everyone's favourite method though, because it is brutal. It's brutal. And if you haven't got the confidence and you're not prepared, which I'll go to in more detail in a minute, you are gonna get brutal, like completely, well, you'll just fall flat on your face. You'll get eaten alive, promise you. Now, what I want to mention in this video is cold calling needs to be the priority of what you do. I get DM'd all the time with people saying to me, Tom, how do I get new clients through Facebook, Instagram DMs? Honestly, guys, it's laughable because everybody is doing it. Everyone's doing it. How are you ever going to stand out within social media marketing, digital marketing? Let's even take that out and let's say you have a completely different business. How are you ever going to get clients if you don't talk to people? Not face to face as such, because it's not door to door, but in these days, in 2021, it is online. So how are you going to, or on the phone, how are you going to do it? The answer is cold calling. These are the reasons why people don't want to do it. Number one is you are scared. Guys, you're scared. But you need to understand why you're scared. The reason why you're scared is you're actually scared of the rejection. Now, let's just say we ring up someone and we explain who we are, okay, and why we're calling. What is the worst that's going to happen to you? I can tell you now, they may swear at you and they may put the phone down, that's it. They're not going to call your mum and dad and tell them what a naughty boy or girl you've been, because that's not how it works. We're all adults and this is a different world. They'll just hang up the phone, guys. So I don't really understand what the problem is with that. If you get over the rejection, you are one step closer than everybody else. Okay? The fear of rejection will hold you back because it will damage your ego, without a doubt. So when someone says to you, no, why are you calling me? How did you get my number? How did you get the number? All these things you need to kind of be prepared for, but do not worry about it. I've made so many calls. I've been told to die on a call. I've been told that I am pretty much every swear word under the sun. But I accept it. You almost get numb to it. The more cold calls you make, the easier it becomes. In fact, the first 20 cold calls that you ever make, you need to completely write off. And we'll go into that in more detail in other videos. That's not for now. But the first element on cold calling is don't worry about the rejection. It is brutal. You will get eaten up by some people, and some people are just outright really mean. But that's fine. It doesn't affect you in your day-to-day world. The second piece of advice I'll give you, or the reason why you don't cold call, you're scared of it, is you're kind of worried that you don't have all the answers on the call. Here's a question for you watching. Should you have all the answers? Because in my view and in my world, you shouldn't. Why should you? You don't know enough about the customer to have all the answers. You haven't lived and breathed their business for you to know all the answers. So if you get put on the spot, there's nothing wrong with you saying, do you know what? I actually don't know the answer to that right now, but if we have a second call, we can talk about that in more detail. You don't have to come up with everything right now. But I think the reason why you guys don't want to cold call is you're worried about kind of being put on the back foot where you're like, oh, I don't want to look stupid. You are going to look stupid on calls. That's a given. You will look a bit daft because some people will catch you out with a question that you're absolutely not expecting. But do you know what, guys? It really, really doesn't matter. and you cannot have all the answers in one go. And just accept that and understand that. But you do need to be prepared. So you cannot, and we'll go on to that in just a second in this video, but you do need to have an element of preparation for you to answer some key questions, you know. The third bit is the reason why you probably will shirk away or lean away from cold calling is that you're not confident in your own ability. And that is a key, that we see that all the time, me and Harry, with students, is that you're not confident in your own services. In the back of your mind, you're always thinking, oh, maybe I'm not good enough, and they're going to kind of know that I haven't got as much experience as I kind of hope I have, or there's all sorts of reasons, and they're called limiting beliefs. And it kind of goes with the first point, which is the fear of rejection, but you will limit your belief in who you are. So you'll kind of, in some ways, think I'm not good enough, or they've been using someone else and that person must be better than me. Let me tell you something now. In the SMMA world, or the digital marketing world, these people, the benchmark of good, and this is in another video, but the benchmark of good is like here. In fact, hang on, it's probably here. It's really low. So don't worry about following some great other digital agency, because they ain't that good, I can assure you. So if you can get over the fear of rejection, don't worry about not having all the answers, because it's really not important. But you do have to be prepared. And you know, not being confident enough in your own services, they are seriously, guys, gonna hold you back beyond belief. And this is why you're scared. And I get it. So you're looking at and watching this video going, Tom, how do I improve on my cold calling then? Like, how do I get over that? Now, I can't help you get over those things. The only way you can get over the fear of rejection, not being confident enough, not having all the answers, is by practicing. You have to make numerous cold calls. If someone replies or posts a comment on this video and you say, I've made 20 cold calls, it's not working, make 200 cold calls or make 500 cold calls. Then you'll see the real difference. You have to give things time. Okay, so what's the solution to all this? First of all, if you're going to cold call, okay, whoever's watching this and you're thinking, yeah, I need more clients. DMing isn't working. The Instagram DMs aren't working. I've emailed. And I'll tell you what, if you're emailing in our industry, in SMMA, leave. Just leave. Come off the channel, because you're not going to get anywhere. Most people who are emailing, and again, this is a separate video, you're emailing the info at mailbox, or you're emailing someone who just doesn't care. Okay? Honestly, emails, just push it aside. Let's say you go down all these the outreach methods. The one that will stand out will be cold calling. How are we going to do it? How are we going to tackle it together? The first thing is we walk into the room, we get our day sorted. Okay, we're going to do some cold calls. First of all, get yourself a coffee. Get yourself ready mentally. It doesn't have to be a coffee. You're not like a coffee drinker, I get that. But get yourself in a place which we call high level frame. Okay, you need to be in a good frame. That means you have to be energetic. You can't be sluggish. You can't be hungover or drunk or whatever you feel you need to be. You need to be in a good place up here and physically. So wake up, shake yourself about, get yourself a coffee if that's your thing. But absolutely get yourself ready for the day, like you're going into battle, because that's the way you need to see it. You are going into battle with unknown strangers who have no idea why you're calling them. They have no idea. They've not asked for your call. So you're going to absolutely change their world when you ring them for the good. Okay? And that's the way you need to think about it. So first of all, get your energy up. Secondly, prepare for the call. So what do I mean by that? I mean, you cannot just go through, in the UK, we have something called the yellow pages, or like your local magazines, which people would pick out from. Now there's outreach methods and there's ways of gathering that information for outreach. But in the world we live in now, Google, Facebook, D7 Lead Finder, we know them all, okay? However you do it, it's completely up to you, but get a list of people you're going to call for that day. Just for that one day, get a list of 100 people. It may be that you only call 20 of them, but get a list of 100, okay? Because what will happen is you don't want to waste time in looking for or scrambling around for people to call. You need to have it laid out for you. So once you've hit one, you get another and another and another. You are consistently going and going and going. You will lose momentum if you have a list in front of you, or don't say, and you make one phone call and then you get up and you kind of walk around your office, or you walk in to see your partner and you have a cup of tea, and then you talk about your day, and then you go back and make another call, and then maybe you reply to an email, or you go on Facebook and you're checking out your Insta to see how many likes you've got on your post and all these things. End it. That's an end game. You've lost. You have lost. And that's why it's not working for you, okay? If you're going to cold call, no distractions. Phone goes off, okay? Shut your social media off. Shut your emails off. It's cold calling time, baby. And this is what we are absolutely all about. You get your list of 100 people to call, and you make your way through it. Like your life depends on it. So by the end of today, or the end of the day, someone says to you, right, how many cold calls you made? And you have to have hit a certain amount. If that was the reality of it, you would do them. So treat it like that. So let's take it that you've got 100 people to ring. You're going to get through them as many as you can. Now, you may not get through 100 in a day. In my old job that I was in, we're going back many, many years ago, I had to do 250 calls a day, cold calls a day. So I know how brutal it is. And in my time, I've generated well over £2 million of revenue, new business from cold calling. Okay, so I know the pain you go through. I absolutely understand it. But the bit that stands out the most is being prepared. So have your list, work your way through it. Once you've done one, on to the next. Someone hangs up on you, you don't cry about it, on to the next. Someone hangs up on you again, on to the next. You might have 5 people who say, get lost, I'm not interested. Okay, I've got that covered. I didn't ask for this call. Don't ring me again. Take me off your list. You'll get all that, but you just honestly, guys, just need to brush it off you and you're on to the next, like it never existed. Okay, go through the list, and I guarantee you, if you make 100 calls a week, you'll pick up business, like without doubt, way quicker than if you were DMing or sliding into email inboxes and all this stuff. Like, you absolutely will. One of the other points I want to raise is get your timing right on the call. And actually going back, to the prep, make sure you know a tiny bit about that business as well. Now, you don't have to know the ins and outs, but just going back to the prep part, do understand what they do, like the basics of what they do, what services they offer, okay? That sort of stuff is really important. So kind of put that in with your prep along with when you get your list through. Just research a couple. Don't spend too much time on it. And I mean that. Don't spend too much time, but just understand that this is a dentist and they offer this service. Fine. This is a clinic and they offer this service. Okay, this is a real estate agent. They offer house, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you understand where I'm coming from. Going back to the timing, get your timing right. Don't call at 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, because guess what? They will literally not care for you, even more so than at the beginning. Okay, Monday mornings. If you were a business owner and you had a cold call on a Monday morning, would you actually take it? Probably not, guys. So don't bother. That's my advice. And again, people might be watching this going, I don't agree with that. I once signed a client on Monday morning, 8 a.m. I'm sure you did, and I'm not saying it's not impossible, but the best times to call, just don't do a Monday morning and a Friday afternoon. There's a big bit there in the middle, so just focus on that. Also look at that business's hours of work, because it could be that they may stay open till late. So if they're open till late, you might get through to someone after 6 o'clock. Could be they shut at 3. So always just kind of check your timings out. But again, my advice is if you're going to cold call, you want to smash the phone at 10 o'clock and finish at 3. That window gives you enough to make a ton of calls. Okay, so timing is really, really important. The big one I hear when cold calling is I can't get through because the lady on reception won't put my call through. If you were the lady on reception, would you put the call through? Absolutely no way. No way. You have to understand where you're coming from. You're no one. You're absolutely nobody. You're really not. However, work on the gatekeeper. That gatekeeper is the reason we call them in this industry gatekeepers is because they hold the keys to where you want to get. They know the decision maker. They speak to them every day. They screen the calls. They are literally employed to screen the phone calls so that person doesn't have to put up with shit every day, because they're employed to take that and bat it off. Warm the gatekeeper up. Now that is a different video, and I will be doing, myself and Harry will be doing a video on warming up the gatekeeper. Okay, it's not easy because it requires personality and a little bit of savviness. Okay, however, for another video, tune in to watch that. But you do need to make an effort on the gatekeeper. Don't talk to them like they're a robot or like a non-person. They're actually really important to you. So try and get through to them. If you can't, then you really do need to find out when you can speak to the DM, which is the decision maker, as soon as possible. Try and get to the root of that as much as you can. But again, that's tricky, and we'll do it in another video. And the final one to wrap up this video for you guys is, please, if you're watching this, please do not sell on a cold call, on your first cold call. This is where I would say almost 9 out of 10 of you fail, and this is why then you don't go back to it, because you get so scared of the rejection again, is that you try and sell on your first call. It is absolute rookie behavior. Do not sell on your first call. The whole objective of a cold call within SMMA is to get an appointment, guys. You don't care about the now, you care about the what if. And the what if is next week's appointment and the appointment after that. Because we all know, as much as you watch other people online who say one call, one sale, got the client signed up for $1,500 a month, it doesn't work like that. Don't believe it. It takes multiple touch points, like anything is when you purchase a product or deal with someone. You want to get to know that person or understand that they are credible, okay? You honestly do not sell on your first call. And if you're doing it, cut it out instantly, because your whole objective and aim is to get an appointment for the next 3 days' time. It could be a week's time. It could be a month's time. A month's time is quite long, but an appointment's an appointment. So you're calling 100 people in a week. Your aim is not to sell to 100 people in a week. It's to get 100 people to commit to you at another time. Okay? Always bear that in mind at the back of your head, because it will affect you. If you're going in with different mindset, that you have to sell and get them to commit to you on a $1,500 a month SMMA, social media content management, whatever it might be. If you're thinking you're going to get it on the first call and you're disappointed when you don't, I would just quit, actually. I would 100% quit. If you're thinking that, quit. SMA's not for you. Sales isn't for you. You're done. You are absolutely done. If you listen to everything I've said in this video and you put it into place and you actually dissect it and understand it, but you have to act on it. So don't listen to what I've said and then go, yeah, I'll try it. You've got to throw yourself into it. Literally give yourself 2 weeks where you absolutely feel exhausted by the end of the day. Do that. You will get better and better and better, I promise you. And not just that, what's important is you will start signing client after client after client, to the point where you'll actually have to bring people into your team because you've got too much work. I've lived it, I've breathed it, I understand how it works on every aspect. So give it a go. Don't be scared. The worst that can happen is that person never talks to you ever again. They call you a swear word. They tell you to die, which is what I've had. Whatever it may be, think how extreme it can get. Nothing bad will happen to you. Just move on. Okay? Anyway, listen, if you enjoyed this video, there's way more to come. Please subscribe. Click on the subscribe button down below. Watch our content. We've got serious amounts of content coming your way to help everybody in this industry. So with that in mind, we will see you on the next video. See you soon.